All right. So a particle moving at a constant speed traces a horizontal circle inside the surface of a smooth sphere of radius r. So I'm going to draw my sphere right now. And here is the sphere. And I'm assuming it's below the midpoint. I'm assuming it's below the center of the circle, otherwise it doesn't really make sense. All right, guys. Now, everybody see underneath? Okay. Now, what is this, a horizontal or a vertical? It's horizontal. Can you see this blue particle? This blue particle is undergoing. No, I'm trying to press the blue thing. There we go. It's going around like this, isn't it? On the inside of the sphere, not the outside, the inside. Okay. Now, what that means is that there's a reaction force aiming towards the center of the circle, like so, and that's the R value. Okay. Now, what do we know about this triangle here that I'm currently experimenting with? So, if you will, I'll just use different colored dots. That's green, you're red, and you're blue. It's the green, red, blue triangle, okay? And it's right angled. Now, the radius is R, the radius of the sphere, not the circle, the sphere, okay? And what's the distance from red to green? To R. Yeah. And we call this A. Is that right, you guys? Actually, A is a terrible letter because acceleration exists, doesn't it, sometimes? So we call it a B. All right. Now, what we're going to say is that R squared equals B squared plus root 3 over 2 R to B squared. So R squared equals B squared equals 3/4 R squared. So then B squared will equal 1/4 R squared. Therefore, B is a half R. Are you happy that B is a half R? Okay. Now, there's actually another way of doing this. Probably arguably faster without doing Pythagoras theorem. I'm just going to call this angle X. Is that okay with calling this angle X? What can I say about sine X? Sine X is what, guys? Root 3 over 2R divided by R, opposite over hypotenuse. And then sine inverse X, sine inverse root 3 over 2. 60 degrees, yeah. Okay, cool with that. Now, what's the general rule for a horizontal circle? Force up equals force down, doesn't it? Okay, now let's look at R. Well, I can break up R into two components, can't I? I can break it up into R, I don't know what I keep doing there. R cos 30 and R sine 30. Sorry, 60. R cos 60 and R sine 60, which we all know is a half R and root 3 over 2R. Now, let's do force up versus forces down. So what's the force going up again? Anybody? Force going up? Anybody know? Root 3 over 2 or okay, it's going up. What about going down? mg. And we can now say that R equals what? 2 mg all over root 3. We cool with that? Now what's the next formula we need to use? Centripetal acceleration going to the middle of the circle. Now, am I using m or omega squared, or am I going to use mv squared over r? Which one do you think I should use for the centripetal force? We're going to use mv squared over r. Was there anything in the language to suggest that that's what we should do? Huh? Speed, yeah. And you want to prove that the speed of the particle is rg over 2 root 3. Okay, so what do we get here, guys? What you reckon? So, F going into the middle is a half R, is what's driving it. And mv squared, so it's m times v squared. And what's r, guys? Small r. The radius of the circle. I think we all said the radius of the circle was a half r, wasn't it? Half the radius of the sphere. So bring the 2 up to the top, isn't it? You're dividing by a half. 1 divided by a half is 2. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up to the top. We're going to stop there then, yeah? Now what am I going to do? Oh, there's an R in the answer. I'm allowed R and G in the answer, nothing else. Ever got that? R and G allowed in the answer, nothing else. So what can I replace big R with? Anybody? Yeah. You see that 2? I'm going to cross multiply that into a 4. I'm going to get R on its own. And then I'm going to replace R with what's there? 2mg over root 3 for mv squared over R. I'm going to isolate v squared just to aim it again. So I'm going to 4 turns into 2 and 2 turns into 1. Going to divide, so it's, and the m's cancel. So it's going to be g over 2 root 3. Cross multiply up to small r equals v squared. And then what I'm going to do after that? Square root of root gr over 2 root 3. What do you think?